Hey, what's up, Book? I know last week you said you were looking to get your game day routine down a little bit. What are going to be like the key differences in just how you guys are looking at 8 games in 14 days?
Um, I don't think we're looking at anything differently at all. We're taking it one game at a time. Obviously, we know, it's a lot of games in a few amount of days, but, we're just coming in with, one goal at a time. And right now, that's the Wizards.
All right, next up we have Richard Science with Fox 10. He'll be followed by Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic. Go ahead, Richard.
Hey, Book, good to see you, man. Just wanted to ask, what is your confidence level with this team as you guys head into these real games now? You guys had a good showing against the Raptors, and just let me know how you feel if you guys are clicking at the right time.
Yeah, everyone's having fun and we're playing free. So there's not a lot of pressure out there. Everybody's playing together and helping each other out. It has turned out well for us. So, when teams, throw different defenses, we have the attributes and the talent, to make them pay for it. So, I'm looking forward to the matchup tomorrow.
Next up is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic. He'll be followed by Kevin Ray with Fox Sports Arizona. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Thanks, Palmer. Devin, just really quick, a two-parter. One, just your thoughts on Mikal and how he's played, and obviously he's played well and had a huge game against Toronto. Just how you feel like he's played, and then second, Monty was saying that he read some quotes from you guys about John Lewis. John Lewis had in a letter that he wrote. Just wanted to see how that maybe affected you or how that touched you to hear, words from Mr. Lewis.
What was the first question again, Dwayne? My fault.
No, you're fine. Just about Mikal and just how he.
Yeah. He's been playing unbelievable. You've seen it. He's a player. You can't put him in a box. You can't, give him one title. You can't even just give him the 3 and D title that people try to use for him. He's a player out there, and he's growing every day. He's evolving every day. And he loves the game. So when you have that competitive mindset and love the game, there's no limits. There's no box that you can put you in. You can see Mikal excelling with extreme confidence, and it's helping our team a lot. And rest in peace, John Lewis. Like you just spoke on, Coach did bring up his open letter before he passed away. It's very touching, very touching. We know what he's done for our community. He's know what he's done for us, and we have to pay his dues to the hard work and the example that he set for every one of us.
Right, next up is Kevin Ray with Fox Sports Arizona. He'll be followed by Paolo Uggetti with The Ringer. Go ahead, Kevin.
Book, great to see you. Looking forward to hoops tomorrow. Like Dwayne, kind of a two-parter. I'll start with off the court. Can you just address the emotional growth and maturation that you've seen from this team with everything that has gone on, the social messaging, and how proud you are from a leadership aspect? And then second part is using your leadership platform to help your young bench guys. I know this is a group right now that's still kind of seeking an identity. What have you tried to do to help bring them along?
One, leading by voice, and secondly, just following that up with the same approach every day. Coach Monty always talks about approach, and that's something I pride myself on. Every chance I get to come out here, compete with guys, be competitive as possible, and then off the court, we're one big unit. So that's helped our team tremendously. I think we're all competitors, and the ability to compete, trash talk each other, and then come together right at the end and know, that we're competing for a bigger purpose, and we all have goals that we all set out for this team that we're trying to get to.
And next up, we have Paolo Uggetti with The Ringer. He'll be followed by Gina Mizell.
Hey, Devin, I'm curious, just based off the scrimmages, whether, playing in an arena that's very different in terms of, no fans, but also just the dimensions that you're used to. If as a shooter, there's something you have to get used to, or something that's a little different about that that affects you in some way?
Honestly, I'd say it's, kind of easier to shoot in here with less depth perception. But I love the setup that they have for us, to be completely honest. I feel like it's a hooper's gym. there's not much more that comes with it rather than, the game of basketball, and it's art that we love. Obviously, we love fans being involved and the energy that fans bring, but, when you're out there with no fans and, artificial sounds, you're just playing basketball, and that's what we love to do. So it's been a fun adjustment. Like everybody says, it takes you similar to back to the AAU days, but it's definitely a Hooper's gym.
And next up, we have Gina Mizell. She'll be followed by Dave King with Bright Side of the Sun. Go ahead, Gina.
Hey, Devin, just when you sort of looked back at the 3 scrimmages and dissected the film and all that, just what were your biggest takeaways from those 3 scrimmages that you feel like can help you moving forward into these seeding games, as far as what you feel like the team did particularly well, what maybe needs to be better, just sort of your overall takeaways?
I'd say our communication needs to stay where it's at. You can't have that communication and the positive energy only when you're winning games. You need that in the toughest times possible. When teams go on runs, that's when we need each other most. So like I spoke on earlier, we're just playing free. Coach Monty allows us to do what we need to do out there as long as we stay with our defensive principles and, play together. And that's what this team does. We showed it in the first 65 games. I think we led the NBA in assists. So that's a fun way to play, and we're doing that.
Right, next up, we have Dave King with Bright Side of the Sun. He'll be followed by Paul Richardson with the Sports Cave. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Devin, it looked like during the scrimmage games, you were not really looking for your shots after averaging 26 points a game. You looked like you were more interested in passing the ball, maybe without Ricky there. But you feel like you're going to get back to needing to score 25, 30 points for you guys to have good outcomes in these real games?
We'll see tomorrow. I try to take pride in just, playing with the defense it gives me. Obviously, I feel I have a scoring ability where, if I need to go get a shot, I can. But, winning with the team effort, playing together is, how the ball needs to move around here. But we'll see tomorrow.
Right, next up, we have Paul Richardson with the Sports Cave. He'll be followed by Richard Syons with Fox 10. Go ahead, Paul. Paul, are you there? All right, moving along. Next question will come from Richard Syons, and then the final question will come from Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic. Go ahead, Richard.
Hey, Book, not too many people are giving you guys a chance, with these 8 games to make the playoffs. Can that work to your advantage? I mean, not that you guys need any extra motivation, but, the motivation to prove people wrong, and also to kind of keep you guys loose, like you said, because you guys don't really have any pressure.
Yeah, I mean, we're not coming out here putting pressure on ourselves, telling each other that we have to win all 8 games from the beginning. We're coming in there with the one-game mentality, one matchup at a time, and that's Washington tomorrow. Obviously, we know what's at stake and what's in front of us. 8 games in 14 days. But we're here to take care of our bodies and compete at the highest level and try to win basketball games. So, I think the 3 scrimmage games were a good start for us, getting us to tomorrow, and we're looking forward to that.
All right, going to circle back to Paul Richardson and see if his microphone is working. He'll be followed by Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic. I don't think we have Paul. Final question is going to come from Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Thanks. Devin, I'm not going to ask you about the dunk on Pascal because we all saw it. What I will ask you about is just, you got your full roster now. Jalen was the last one to come through. And just what does that mean moving forward to know now that you have a full complement of players?
I mean, that's what we've been asking for all season. Obviously we know that's what comes with the NBA season is, sicknesses, injuries. You never know what to expect. But, we're here to control what we can control. I think a lot of teams are happy with the full rosters that they have and the healthy rosters that they have. And, that's all we can ask for, a full healthy team ready to come out here and compete and try to get wins.
All right. Thank you, Devin.
All right, Mikal, first of all, it's kind of more like an observation, but man, you've been playing fantastic. What is it that has something just clicked for you? Has the game slowed down? What do you attribute this certain jump in your game?
I think it started with my coaches, just putting a lot of work in, especially in the off season, the quarantine, just kept working on my game, helped me with my shot and being confident. And then coach let me go out there and just play, just play your game and kind of feel like I'm back in college where you just kind of got that okay to, go do what you do. So just taking advantage of it.
Right, next up is Kellen Olsen with Arizona Sports. He'll be followed by Dwayne Rankin with Arizona Republic. Go ahead, Kellen.
Hey, Mikal, I know DeAndre, like, before the first scrimmage game said, like, this isn't our first scrimmage, this is our first game. And then when Devin was talking about the 8 games, he said it's just a game-by-game mentality. Can you kind of share what the team's, like, just overall mentality is for these 8 games? Devin kind of got into it a bit there.
Yeah, I mean, we even since the first scrimmage, we been locked in. Some teams who already clinched and are like, 1, 2 seeds, whatever, they could kind of do what they have to do. But for us, every game means something for us. So we have to go out there, set that tone, and bring that energy to to the first season, regular season game. But kind of treat it like a tournament, just a game at a time. For either in a conference tournament or the whole NCAA tournament or something like that, just like you don't think about the end, you just think about one step at a time.
All right, next up is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic. He'll be followed by Gina Mizell. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Thanks, Palmer. Devin, I'm sorry, Mikal, a little off topic here, but Coach talked about he read you guys some quotes from John Lewis's open letter. Just wanted to ask you just how that maybe touched you or just, what feelings or how you feel about what was quoted and what he said.
Yeah, I mean, it was deep and something that made you think, right before practice, just kind of got you thinking about the whole situation and what he did for everybody. And I mean, it was something great to see. I hope, just blessings for everybody, part of his family who's close with him, just praying for them during this time. But just knowing what he did is just, it's a great thing to see today.
All right, next question comes from Gina Mizell. Go ahead, Gina.
Hey, Mikal, you sort of just alluded to it a few minutes ago, but the work that you did during the hiatus while you were quarantined, can you kind of go a little bit more in depth on just what you specifically worked on and maybe how that's now paying dividends when you're back on the floor?
Yeah, just finishing, shooting, just trying to get my shot fluid again. And then weight room. I mean, he's not here, but Jeff Dolan, he got me right with a lot of ISOs and all these different type of lifts that got my body right. And I feel more powerful, more explosive, just movement, just feeling more fluid as I move and everything. So credits to him, even though he's not here, but just him and, Darko, he did such a great job, just, get me better. And just days where I know it'll be tough, they just tell me to stick with it and just keep going through it. And it's not just me. I mean, everybody else just helped me get to where I'm at right now.
All right, Mikal, our final question is a follow-up question from Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Yes, Mikal, you guys now have your full roster moving forward. Just how exciting is that? And just, a lot of people talk about chances. What's your chance? What's not your chances? What do you feel you guys' chances are to play well in these 8 games?
I mean, I know we're just gonna go out there and we're gonna play hard. I mean, win or lose, I know we're gonna go out there, leave everything we have on that court, and be satisfied. So no matter what, obviously we want to win, but just go out there playing our way. And if a team beats us, then kudos to them. But we're gonna go out there, play as hard as we can, play our way, and try to, try to win.
Coach, just wanted to do a little quick housekeeping. Saw where you guys are going to sell the G League team, play in Phoenix this season, but next season we'll be moved to Detroit the season after. Obviously, the G League is very important, but you guys obviously have a plan as well moving forward. Just curious, just your thoughts on that decision.
You know, D, I haven't thought much about it. I heard about it when it happened. It's certainly a important piece to programs. At the same time, you know, those kinds of decisions were, you know, made with a plan in mind, and I'm sure, you know, that was the case. It's been good for us to be able to send guys to our G League affiliate, but at the same time, I'm sure that Robert and James and all of our people in Phoenix have a plan in place that's going to benefit the organization. But I don't know much about that particular decision because I've just been locked in on this for the past few months. And so I really don't have much more to say about it.
Our next question comes from Kellen Olsen with Arizona Sports. He will be followed by Richard Syons with Fox 10. Go ahead, Kellen.
Hey, Monty, I was just curious at what you're looking at the biggest differences are with the schedule. 8 games in 14 days. Obviously, no travel is a big one, but what else sticks out to you looking at it?
Well, today was, you know, probably one of the last days we're going to be able to have, you know, the kinds of practices we've had. And so we're going to have to really lock into the film sessions and walkthroughs and nighttime shooting when we get a chance. The schedule is what it is. I mean, we can complain about it or we can look at what we get to do. We're here. There are teams that aren't here, and we worked our way into this bubble, and we want to take advantage of that. And so the good thing is we get to hoop and we get to compete, and we got a small shot at making the playoffs, and that's something that we're grateful for.
All right, next question comes from Richard Syons with Fox 10. He'll be followed by Gina Mizell.
Yeah, Coach, you kind of said it. You know, you guys are there. You know, it's time. You got to put in so much work to get to this point. You know, you've been disciplined and, you know, and staying safe and doing all the right things. Now's, you know, what it all comes down to. You guys start playing for keeps. Just give me your excitement level and the team's excitement level as you guys start this 8-game stretch.
I mean, the excitement level is obviously pretty high, but at the same time, you know, you have to temper it because there's so much at stake, and your focus has to be, you know, at a place where emotion doesn't take over. And you know, it's one practice at a time, one video session at a time, one game at a time, and that's how we're going to look at it. We know we have 8 games in 14 days. But we're more than prepared for it. We're excited about the ability and the chance to compete against the best teams in the league. And we're just wanting to get after somebody else. And we want to continue to improve on the play we had the other night against Toronto. And I'm excited on one hand to see our guys continue to grow and to see them pick up the stuff we're trying to implement since day one at Flagstaff. I mean, if you go back to that first meeting we had, and we talked about a conditioning test, and the guys thought I was going to make them run, but we talked about conditioning our hearts and minds and bodies to be able to play in environments like this. And so I'm excited about the growth of our team. We've dealt with a lot, and we're playing in a highly intense environment against the best teams and players in the world. And that's something that our fans, I hope, appreciate, and I hope that we make our fans happy with how we play.
Right, next up, we have Gina Mizell. He'll be followed by Paolo Uggetti with The Ringer. Go ahead, Gina.
Hey, Monty. Cole just let us know that Aaron was able to practice today. Just how did he look, not just because he's just joining you guys right now, but also just based on what he had said about battling the virus? It sounded like it took him out pretty good. So just how did he look physically and just getting back with you guys out there?
Aaron looked fine. He looked in great shape. His body always looks pretty toned and defined. He certainly doesn't have the wind to play the way that we play, but he looked great. It was good to see him. It's good having him in the gym with us today. I got a chance to speak with him for a while yesterday. And, like I said, it's just good to have him around. His body, he's a guy that he's a detailed guy when it comes to his body and nutrition. And so I didn't worry about that. I was more concerned about Rachel and the children. And thankfully they're good and in a good place, and Aaron is the same.
All right, next up we have Paolo Uggetti with the Ringer, and they'll be followed by a follow-up question with Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Hey, Monty, you've probably been asked about this already before, but I'm just curious as to how you think, the specific environment of a game, whether that be, no fans or, the different arena, how that's going to affect the players, but also, how you coach the game, or whether that's going to affect it at all or change it.
I don't think it does now. I think when we first walked out there on the floor, it was different. But NBA players and coaches, we've learned how to adapt. And you have to. You play on the road in many different cities. You're taking bus rides and plane rides and different hotels, and you make adjustments all year long. The schedule isn't the same, whereas you play every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. It's not like that. We play on every day of the week throughout the year, and so we've learned how to adapt, whether it's to rules in the league, to officiating, and everybody's had to learn how to adapt to this environment. We go from the bedroom, ballroom, bus, and basketball. I call it the 4 Bs, and you mix in testing with that, and everybody's got a bit of a rhythm now. So I don't think it will affect us much at all. The last game I heard a bit more crowd noise. I thought the league pumped in a bit more during our game, so you got to hear a little bit of that. But I think everybody's done a really good job of adapting to this environment.
All right, Coach, our final question comes from Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic.
Thank you. Monty, it's a two-parter. One, just wanted to get updates on Dario, Kelly, and obviously Aaron. In terms, I know you said he doesn't look like he's in the shape to play the way you guys play, but is there a chance he'll play tomorrow? And then second, I sat here today and watched the John Lewis's funeral. Didn't know if you had got a chance to look at it or watch it, and just if you did, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, the updates are the same. Dario did do more today, and he did some stuff yesterday on the floor, and he looks a lot better than he did a couple days ago or a few days ago when he turned it. So there's no update on Kelly at this point. And Aaron, I think he's going to need a bit more cardio and some reps before he can get out there and play. So. As far as Congressman Lewis is concerned, I've watched the footage the past few days. Saw some this morning, and it's something that we showed our players. He wrote a letter, basically to the world, knowing that he was going on to be with the Lord. He wrote a letter, and we shared some of the quotes with our guys today. When you look at his life, not just his career in Congress, he's a giant of a man, and someone that I thought it was important to highlight before we practice today. Congressman Lewis is someone that has inspired everyone, not just African Americans. And his phrase "good trouble" is something that I think will stick with us for a long, long time. And I think he's a guy that inspires me to stand up for things when I see that they're not right and do something about it. So we wanted to make mention of him. And Dwayne, I'm unbelievably thankful that you brought it up, because we are playing basketball, we are in the bubble, we know there's a business at hand, but our country is not in a good place, and we have to continue to talk about these issues and talk about our past so that there can be some reconciliation. And Congressman Lewis was a huge part of our nation's past and the healing of it. And I'm just thankful that I was, able to see him and listen to him and learn from him. And if you guys have a chance today and you want a great read, you should pick up his letter that he wrote to humanity. It's an unbelievable message by a courageous man, knowing that he was dying, but he wanted to leave something that we could use to propel us into this next phase of a hopeful reconciliation and healing of our country.